All right. Welcome back to the show, everyone. Born to be great. What's up, Nick?
What up, man? Last one before the end of the year, bro.
Let's do this thing. So, we just wanted to, before we get started here, also wish everyone happy holidays, Merry Christmas. I guess happy Hanukkah to my Jewish folks out there, whatever you celebrate, Ramadan. But yeah, we want to talk about what we learned this year, a few lessons we learned, and how we're going to apply that next year, how you guys can apply that to next year, and how we can all crush 2026. So, Nick, I'm gonna throw it to you, man. What was your biggest lesson you learned this year? I want to know more about how we can apply
Yeah.
what you learned this year to next year.
Yeah, I mean it's when I think about my career and, how I was able to, get to the NFL despite a lot of unforeseen circumstances with COVID and just playing career. It all went back down to focus, which is, seems like something basic, but I think for a couple years, since my playing career, I haven't been totally dialed in. I think this year, particularly towards the end of the year, started really narrowing down, on a few things, and I can just see, how much momentum I've had just by, focusing on, a few initiatives and not spreading myself too thin. And yeah, looking to carry that into next year. I mean, yeah, for the past couple of years, I mean, a lot of different things, on my plate from, faith and fitness and career and family. And I think, my goal going into next year is to just, get my priorities straight, keep the main thing the main thing. Narrow that focus down and just go left lane, freaking hammer down, balls to the wall. And that's something I've done, over my career. And it helped me get to the stratosphere of, football. But now I'm trying to apply that, in business. So focus seems, something simple and obvious, but I think it's a superpower when you can, have that focused consistency over long, periods of time and not distracting yourself
Hmm.
across a bunch of different, shiny objects because every day there's opportunities that, come across your desk or just in your sphere. And if you're not disciplined, and focused, it'll just lead you down the wrong path, or you won't see kind of the outsized results that, you think you're going to get. So focus is number one for me this year, and kind of looking to drill down on that next year. I think over this next 11 days, writing down exactly what I want to focus on and not having too many initiatives or priorities to focus on. Because, in the past, I've said I want to do 10 things this next year and none of them get done. So I think,
Yeah.
you know, three
So
to
is that
five.
what you're gonna is that what
Mhm.
people should be thinking about if you want to get focused? Like just sit down with a pen and piece of paper. Like that's how I usually do stuff too.
Yeah. I mean,
Is that
it's,
what?
it's, you know, tactically it's, what is the outcome that you're trying to, achieve, and then reverse engineering a system and process to help you get there, because everything can be broken down into bite-sized, um, you know, chunks, and you know over long periods of time, just even getting 1% better every day. I mean, it is, you know, incredible how focused consistency over time can lead to just outsized, performance. But again, you gotta clear all the clutter, man, and figure out what you really want. Have the end in mind and work backwards. So that's an exercise that I've been doing in my head probably over the last you know, several weeks, but as I dial in to the end of the year, writing it down, it's going to be right in front of my face in my office here, right next to my Cowboys jersey.
Let's go.
Kind of
Reminder.
like a constitution, like a Ten Commandments, something
I
I
like that.
live by. So, what's the biggest thing you kind of learned this year and kind of want to, I guess, focus on going into next year?
Well, first of all, I like what you said because I think focus is underrated, honestly, too. And there's a lot of tactical things that we could probably talk about when it comes to being more focused. Um, so I like what you're saying there, and I'm excited to see you get more focused next year and start crushing it even more. But yeah, for me, man, I think this year was a crazy year. We, I think I accomplished a lot externally. You know, meeting you, starting the podcast has been awesome. Selling the business for the second time was cool. Like starting my book, had some cool investments, like met a lot of cool people. So that was fun. But I think for me, the biggest thing has honestly been like enjoying things and like being more present, like practicing gratitude. I was always like results, and this has taken like a while. This is something I've worked on for like a few years, honestly. And like I was good at it. I was, fell off a little bit and got back on the, horse a little bit. But I think I've been focused on that this year. And for myself, and I've noticed that I've had a better experience in life, and actually things have been a little more, I don't want to say easier, but like easier to deal with maybe, which has been a fun experience to like actually go through and like not, because when I think about it too, it's like I already like I got nothing's bad in my life. Like I sort of have it made, for the most part. Like most people in this world live off $2 a day. Like I'm part of this 100 Meal Meals Challenge with Tony Robbins, and he always tells people like every 10 seconds a child dies of hunger. So like I try to think about like nothing is bad, at least if you live in the States. Like even if you're homeless, like dude, homeless people freaking are chilling and like they can get food. Like I got it made. So like focusing on what I do have versus what I don't have, focusing on the present more, focusing on what I can control more. But like every day it's like in the morning, I'm like, if my family's healthy, if I'm healthy, I'm like, I'm good. That's sort of like what I've been focusing on lately. And so, but yeah, it was always a struggle, man, because I'd like always want to achieve, like I'd always want to get that next sale. I'd always want to like do this thing and I wouldn't feel good and I wouldn't celebrate the wins. And I think celebrating the small wins is actually really important because it does keep the momentum going. And that's something that I've worked on with a few coaches of mine, my previous coach. Talk a lot about it with Ed and stuff too, but it's just like it is a skill set, and I want to carry that into the next year. And I think a lot of people, especially nowadays, when you're on social media and you're comparing people and like you talk about opportunities coming up left and right, like to not get distracted and to focus on like what you have and like what you're grateful for. Because again, like you can make all the money in the world and like be like the most successful dude or gal out there, right? But if you're like pissed off and frustrated and unhappy all the time, like that's your life, right? And so I think we do have that superpower of choosing our emotions, and it's just hard because we're not taught this stuff in school, right? And having that mindset, and I think having good people around you, I think that's like why we do the podcast, and I'm excited what we're doing with this thing next year to surround ourselves with more, awesome people and people who have awesome mindsets, and it's just I think it's a lost art in today's world, honestly. So for me, this year was definitely a lesson about gratitude and focus on enjoying things more, and it's a skill set that I think I've gotten
Yeah,
better at finally.
how do you because two things kind of stood out there, like being present and then in gratitude. Like how do you actually do that? How do you how do you get to, I mean, is it practicing the art of being, present, or the art of, being uh gracious, or can you just walk me through like how you actually, become present and feel gratitude?
Yeah, no, I think I mean, there's a ton of like techniques, I would say for me. Again, it's just being aware of like what I have instead of like letting my mind drift to like, oh, what's next or what I want to accomplish. It's like, again, it's like little things, just like, I'm warm, I feel good in my bed, like my head feels good on the pillow, or like I got a cool text from a friend like this morning. I got food in the fridge. It's just like seeing things that like we sort of take for granted and just like appreciating them a little bit. I think something else I like to do to I guess ground myself more is like I'll go for a walk. And I think I made a video about this on my Instagram a while ago, but I'll like one of my old coaches taught me this. You like go through the rainbow, and you just start looking for colors. So like you go for red first, and like if you can't see red, again, you're just focusing on the red and you find red, and then you go to orange. And so like I'm not bringing my phone or anything, so I go down the rainbow and like I just notice like I'm a lot more present. Again, I'm not really thinking. It's just like you're sort of doing and you get in that flow state. I think another thing that I always try to keep in mind too, and I learned this recently from another mentor of mine. He told me that he lives his life like 50% like he's gonna die at midnight, and then 50% like he's going to die in 50 years. And so what he told me is like I call my grandma, like, or I call my mom that day, or I call a friend. And so like it forces him into the moment more. And then the other part is like, him planning for the future. And I like that because it's like, dude, tomorrow, like the fucking asteroid could come down and we could all be gone. You never know what's gonna happen. And like when I was deciding about writing my book, like I was like, I don't feel like writing it right now. I don't have a lot of time. But then like you can talk to some people in my life and they're like, dude, write it now. Like you don't have to have it all figured out. And just appreciating that because again, you never know. So I think it's just perspective, appreciating your life. I think traveling helps with that, reading helps with that. Always keeping the main thing. But like I think it's just really realizing what you have. Like again, even like poor people in this country are like richer than the kings back in the day. So I think learning about history helps me with this stuff. There's all these things. But yeah, technique wise, it's yeah, just being aware of what I have, being grateful for that, choosing that, surrounding myself with good people. And then I like to do like visualizations and stuff too, which I won't go too in depth with, but I think that helps me as well.
Yeah, I mean, I used to be. That's one thing I think I've gotten away from is visualization. I mean, in football, like I would visualize, um, executing a play, or even like when you're, like just getting mental reps, just mentally kind of going through it because your brain really doesn't understand or know the difference between a real life rep and a mental rep. Um, what are things next year that you're excited about pursuing?
Shit, I got a lot of things. I mean, number one, like publishing my book, I think is exciting for me. I'm really stoked about that. So hopefully that'll come out around maybe I'm targeting like late summerish, like early fall. So hopefully that, no hiccups with the book. I'm excited about the podcast, what we're doing here, taking it a little bit more seriously. So if you guys are still listening, we're going to be coming out with a lot more consistency next year. So I'm excited about that and having some really cool guests on. And, building the personal brand is exciting. And then on the business side of things, jumping back into that with like a company or two, like more substantially, I'm excited about that. But there's a lot of things I still feel like I got to work on. So I'm excited for a lot of it, like getting in better shape, again, going on some cool trips. I got planned like doing some fun events. But yeah, again, just honing my craft, getting better at my skill set, and yeah, working with cool people. I don't know. There's a lot to be excited for. What about you?
Yeah, honestly, focusing on my family more and wife and kids. That's definitely a super high priority. I mean, it's crazy seeing how fast they grow up, man. I've got a 2.5-year old and a 9-month old, and now that the 9-month old is crawling everywhere, he just chases his older brother everywhere, even like up the
Let's go.
stairs. And so, um, really enjoying seeing them grow up and talk. And I mean, it's hard to even describe. And I don't even know how my wife does it, like manage uh 2 kids, and we got 2 other you know baby dogs that are one's, I don't even know if I've ever told you this, one's like 220 pounds, Great Dane, and then another Great
Oh,
Dane
I
that's
did
like
not know that.
120. Yeah, so she cooks like food for them every single day in like a crock pot of a bunch of different meats and veggies and all that. So
Dang, that
she's
sounds nice.
eating, yeah, no, they're treated better than like probably some parents treat their children. Um, the bigger one has like epilepsy, and so he has to get medicine twice a day, like 9 pills
Holy,
per time. So it's like 18 pills. So 5 a.m. and 5 p.m. So she manages that, man, and you know cooks for us every night. I mean, it's insane. So
That's awesome.
looking forward to focusing on that more because, like you said, that's what's most important. Is my family healthy? Am I healthy? There's a lot of external stuff that we can chase in this
Oh, dude,
world,
I
but
have a, I don't want to cut you off, but I do have one thing that I do that helps me, and it might sound fucked up, honestly, but like thinking about when I'm gonna die or like death, because
yeah,
I think about this too, like your eulogy, like, because again, we're both ambitious dudes. We want to accomplish a lot in business, and like we love that stuff, and I don't think that's a bad thing. But like when we're dead, like the business stuff is gonna be like a sentence or two. Like he was an investor, entrepreneur, he did this thing, but like most of it, I'm hoping is gonna be like about how I made people feel, how I hopefully made people believe in themselves, the stuff that like I want to be known for, which is bigger than business. And I think about that a lot too. And that comes from relationships. So that's another thing that, I focus on too. And like, it grounds me to now too. Cause it's like, again, you never know what's going to happen tomorrow. So that's something else that I like try to think about, honestly, like 30 seconds, a minute every day. And like, even like this might sound fucked up too, but like family passing away or like people I really care about, like, because again, like these are the golden like days right now. Like this is it. Um, so yeah, that's another thing you just reminded me of. But yeah, sorry to cut you off there.
no, no, 100%, man. I need to get back to thinking about and visualizing, um, some of that stuff. And it actually reminded me there was this one back when I was at Arizona State. There was this one alumni that was like a Hall of Fame at Arizona State. Like he would always he'd always say like how you want to be remembered, how you want to be remembered. But yeah, and that even reminds me of the saying of, you look at your birth date, or your death date, and the dash, in between. Um,
Mm.
but yeah, man, definitely want to focus on my family. Definitely want to focus on, my fitness. Feel a lot of momentum on that front, building a lot of momentum going into the new year. It's been crazy, when you train for like 25, 26 years, like every single day, and then, completely stop getting into business. And so, trying to get that fire, that routine, back up because, a body at rest wants to stay at rest and the body in motion, wants to be in motion. I just gotta, build that routine. But, yeah, no, feel a lot of momentum, feel super dialed in, need to, there's just been times in my life when I'm so mentally sharp and you know exactly what you're going after and you'll run through anything to achieve it. And maybe this
Hmm.
is more external, but definitely feeling that that laser focus and tunnel vision going into next year. So next year is going to be a really big year and me, I'm ready to run through walls, man. It is I think that's what God designed me to do, man. To just break through barriers and, you know, get to new levels that you didn't even know existed, man. But at the end of the day, like you got to come back to, the present and be thankful for what you have now. But you can never lose, that ambition, to be more and to be a gladiator and conquer, whatever is, you know, in front of you. There's a term that Ed uses that I always think about, and I'm blanking on the specific term, but it's like
Blissfully dissatisfied.
blissfully dissatisfied. Um, if you can master that, I think you'd be, unstoppable. Um,
Yeah.
so shout out to Ed for that, you know,
Yeah, shout out to Ed.
for
He's a
that.
goat.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a. I remember when I first was meeting with him. I think it was one of our first meetings. That was something we talked about too. Because you hear it online, but like when you actually talk to people about it, and that is a skill set in of itself. Being very grateful for what you have, but also very dissatisfied at the same time. It's very, it's a dichotomy. It's paradoxical. It sounds like it's like most people think you can't hold two at the same time, but you can, and then but you have to train yourself to do that. So yeah, no, it's a skill set. But yeah, I love that terminology too. When you were talking about, it, I was like, I know exactly what he's talking about.
Yeah,
Uh, but yeah, man, I like you said about earlier about getting specific because I think too, like if we want to get tactical now for how we can help people and like get into next year, like getting specific about what you want, and again, like you said earlier, reverse engineering. I think that's really important because it's cool to say I want these goals, right? And like you say, I want to make some more money, I want to lose some weight. It's like, okay, like how much money, how much weight, right? And like your brain cannot help you out if it's very vague. You have to get
yeah,
specific with it. Because I mean, another we keep mentioning Ed, but he talks to me a lot about the RAS in your brain and how it's like sort of like a honing missile, but it's only going to go after what you think is important, and it's can only know like what's specific. And so understanding that if you can get specific on what you want, but most people don't even know what they want, they haven't taken the time to do a proper goal setting exercise. They're not setting themselves up for success. So I think going to next year, like you were saying earlier, if you are serious about crushing 2026 and beyond, because that's what we want to do, we're not just 1 year wonders here. If you want to be great, like you got to get clear on what you want. So you're gonna have to say no to a lot of things, like Nick was saying earlier too. Focus and like get specific with it, and then reverse engineer. Like, okay, like I want this thing. Who do I got to become? What do I got to do? Who do I got to meet? All this kind of stuff. Because that's the thing too. You can't just meditate on your goals and sit in your room and be like, oh, I wrote them down. They're gonna happen. Like that's not how this shit works. You gotta know what you want. You gotta change what you do. Change what you do is gonna change how you get the stuff you want. So I think that's important to know going into next year is like whatever you want out of this life, like you got to be specific with it.
yeah. That is a good point right there, like around relationships, and just making things happen. That's been another big thing I learned this year. Relationships are literally everything. Um, just like meeting you back in February at that family office event, man.
Crazy. It's
Yeah,
really crazy.
it is, man. Yeah. Anything else you want to hit on tactically for folks?
I think, yeah, I mean, it's just like if you want to go really tactical with it, like you were saying, like health, like I think it's hard to achieve your goals if you're not healthy. Like I was sick like 2 weeks ago, and I know you got a little bit of a cough now. Like it's not fun to like not to be sick or unhealthy, and like if you have something unfortunate going on, like I don't know how to speak to that, like a serious disease, but I could imagine like it's not fun, but you can have all the money in the world, but if you're not healthy, like you'd swap that for a second. Like I'd give all away all my money to be healthy, right? So I think health is number one to start with, like the foundation of things. Um, so like if you are, not getting in the gym or you're not eating right or your health isn't in the best shape, I think that should be a priority for sure. To like maybe go to the gym, just start out going once a week. I know people are like, New Year, new me, New Year's resolutions, and I don't like that stuff. And like everyone goes to the gym for like the first 2 weeks and it gets a little bit emptier. It's like packed the first 2 weeks, right? So maybe like if you don't want to go to a packed gym, just go for a walk or like work out by yourself or something. Tactically. But I think it starts with health, bro, for sure. So like get in shape, make that a focus, make that a commitment. And then, like the money thing is important. I think if you're not making the money you want to make, like maybe it's time to switch things up a little bit. Maybe it's go look for another job or you are starting your own business, whatever. Maybe it's asking for the raise. So I think money's not going to buy you happiness, but it's going to decrease stress a lot. And I think, you can't live a great life if you're always stressed out and worried about paying bills. So it is important to be financially independent in that sense. And then your relationships. And then I think the fulfillment side of things is really important as well. But yeah, I think it starts in the gym. Like if you ain't in the gym, like get your ass in the gym. And that
Yeah,
affects your hormones and stuff too. Like if your hormones are out of whack, you can't act right. If you want to do big stuff, if you want to like, crush it in business and the rest of your life, if you're out of shape, like your hormones are not going to be serving you in that sense. Like even if you want to live a long life too, like you got to get in the gym,
dude. I
bro.
think
And
I'm about to go back to the gym, man.
2 a days. Nick's been in the gym already, man. He already went to the gym. I haven't gone to the gym today. He's going back, dude. I feel like dude, you're showing off now.
Nah, man. It is I'm turning 30 next year, so I'm trying to get like just crazy freaking shredded. Um November 10th. So I got some time to just get fucking lean and mean. So that's what I'm
You
going
guys
after.
Go on Nick's Instagram, watch his videos of him just being a
Yeah,
beast back in the
transformation.
day. That guy's coming back. Like he said it out loud. Like he's coming back. So in a year, he's gonna be a different man, a better man. But yeah,
Facts.
he's gonna be a fucking savage, bro. You gonna pull? What did you pull? Did you pull like a fire truck or like a semi truck or some shit?
Yeah, and COVID semi truck. Go check it out on the Insta.
All right, so okay, I have a crazy. Will you do that next year?
Oh God, no.
Okay, what about like a truck?
Fireball truck. That's easy.
And you can pull. Okay,
You
pull a
know,
truck.
look, I need to go get some like stem cells or something in my back. Um,
Are you injured?
I started having like nervy type stuff towards my last or like on the Cowboys, just around like disc. Like so I know
No,
that that's
you have
still
a dislocated disc or something?
it's just like it's not dislocated, but like the stuff in between the spine, like the cushy stuff can get like
Cartilage?
I don't even know what it is. I just know that
It's gone.
yeah. Well, I mean it's not gone, but like it can get it when it would get aggravated, like I would get a nervy type pain. We couldn't like push off it very hard.
I think stem cells are legal in Florida. You got to come here. You got to come over here and get some treatments done.
Yeah, I'll book my flight now.
Let's go. What do you want to leave people with next year? If they want to do again, if they're not used to like any of this kind of stuff we're talking about, like if you had to start from zero, like how would you?
Figure out what's important to you and what you want to achieve, and reverse engineer a system and a process to get you there step by step. Um, it's doable. Um, AI nowadays, man, you know, it can help you design a system. So, um, yeah, outside of that, man, have a Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Ramadan, New Year. Um, 2026 has to be, it's got to be your best year yet, man. And even the stuff that you talked about, I want to start implementing around being present and, feeling gratitude. Like the rainbow thing is an interesting, it's an interesting, tactic that I'm going to start doing. I was thinking about if I get up early and it's like pitch black, like where the fuck is like all the stars going to be?
Okay,
But
yeah, I guess you can't do it when it's pitch black outside. Maybe you can look
they
for
do at the gym though,
different
living
shades
it.
of black. I don't know, but yeah, I think another like just to end it here. I think another tactic too is like if you do struggle with like accountability or some of this stuff, like maybe it's hiring the coach or the personal trainer, someone who can get on your ass and like help you with this stuff if you don't know what you're doing. And like yeah, like Nick said, like go to ChatGPT and just be like, what do I need to do? And then that's like 95% of your issues right there because you got the information. Now you just need to execute. And
Yeah,
that's where I think people are getting lost. It's just execution. They already know. Everyone sort of knows what to do, I think. It's just the execution. It's like, what are your reasons for wanting this stuff? I think that's what's going to pull you forward or push you forward.
facts, man. Good shit,
Facts.
J
So,
Block.
all right. Well, we'll see you guys in the new year. 2026 is going to be a big year. Get excited for what we got. I'm excited for what we got coming here. More consistency. And I think, yeah, 2026 is going to be an awesome year. So we appreciate you guys. Share the show if you got anything valuable out of this. And yeah, we'll see you in the next one. Peace.